who wants to step into the pocket. Do you have what it takes? And now, the Pocket Present Podcast, presented by FRESHOUSE Juice Bar and PILBROIII Inc.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the very first edition of the Pocket Presents Podcast. I'm your host, Dante DeTomasis, alongside my co-host, Nick Saps. And boy, oh boy, do we have an amazing podcast for you guys. We're going to talk a lot about football. Before we get into that, we want to thank our sponsors, FRESHOUSE Juice Bar. Check out FRESHOUSE. They're unbelievable, guys. They got 2 locations, Kiel and Major Mac, and Pine Valley and Highway 7. And of course, for all your carpentry needs, we got PILBROIII. Guys, check them out. They do custom home builds. They're unbelievable. If you ever need renovations, upgrades, or even a new home, go to PILBROIII. They're unbelievable. And Nick, here we are.
Let's do this.
It's a 2020 NFL season. You know, tell me about it. What do you think's going to happen this season? Are we going to have a season?
I mean, as of right now, they're taking all the necessary precautions, and I think they're doing a great job with getting the testing done every day, and using new technology. Like for example, in Cincinnati, everyone's wearing a wristband, and when you get too close to somebody, it flashes red and it beeps. So that means you got to back up and all that. And I mean, that's already a lot better than what the MLB is doing, because every day in the MLB you see new teams with new cases and players and staff, and they have to cancel. And I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen to the NFL, because it's going to be a great season, and really looking forward to it, both fantasy and the actual season itself. So
I gotta tell you, Nick, I mean, what I love about the NFL is they had more time than the other sports to adapt, and I really hope it goes well, because I don't know what life would be like without football. I have no idea. I know me and you, we could literally go Sunday, 1 p.m., like we're not even kidding, folks, 1 p.m. to midnight potentially, depending if that game Sunday night goes to overtime. We could literally do that whole Sunday night, and even the Monday and the Thursday. And this is how devoted me and Nick are, and you guys will get used to this. As you could probably tell, he's a Bengals fan, I'm a Dolphins fan, so we try to, we'll have our biases throughout the season, but, we'll see what happens. So Nick, in terms of news in the NFL, what do you think's the biggest signing or re-signing right now? Who do you think's got that big impact this year?
Honestly, I don't think it was a signing or a re-signing or a free agent pickup. I think it was the Texans trading DeAndre Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals for David Johnson and some draft picks. I mean, not very often in the NFL offseason do you see so many moving pieces, so many major moving pieces, switching teams and hitting the free agent market, like I was mentioning before, DeAndre Hopkins, and the big fish Tom Brady signed with Tampa. So I mean, it's like it was this was probably, I'd say, the first time in a long time that it could compare to like the NBA, where there was so much turnover in one offseason.
That's a great point, Nick. And I got to tell you, this offseason's been crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just think of teams, and the whole dynamics of teams have changed, right? For me, I think the biggest takeaway here is Patrick Mahomes. That deal is so unbelievably, stupidly a lot of money, and if he sets a precedent like that for other QBs, what the hell is Lamar Jackson going to get paid? What are all these quarterbacks coming up? The NFL is, obviously it's a revenue generating machine, but that's a lot of money. And that signing, I mean, obviously Mahomes deserves it in my opinion. The guy is absolutely incredible, and it's just that I gotta take Mahomes on that one. I mean, I don't want to talk Tom Brady, to be honest, but I'll let you talk about Tom Brady. I'm so happy that guy is out of the AFC East. You have no idea, people. No idea. So Nick, actually, now that we got to talk about quarterbacks, let's get more into a bit of fantasy. And who do you think that quarterback is going to be for most fantasy teams this season?
So you're going to have the two big dogs that are going to go very early on in drafts, I would assume. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because basically, they're matchup proof and they're guaranteed at least 25 to maybe even 40 points per week, depending on the matchup and how they're rolling at that point. And I mean, hey, listen, the NFL is changing so drastically in the sense that more and more teams are going with the rookie quarterback and surrounding them with all the talent to help them succeed, because the quarterback on the rookie contract, along with a good line and a good back and all those wide receivers, that keeps your Super Bowl window open for 4 to 5 years. And then after that, it gets tricky because they're going to make so much money, and you're up against the cap, and there's going to be cap casualties and all that stuff. But that's for another time. But yeah, those two guys for sure are going to go very early on in drafts. And the theme this year that I think you're going to see is everyone is going to be looking for that next Patrick Mahomes or that next Lamar Jackson, because 2 years ago Mahomes, in some leagues, he probably wasn't even drafted, and last year with Lamar Jackson, you can get him, you could have got him around 10 and further, and now you see this year, the season that he had last year and the seasons that Mahomes has had, you're going to see a lot of guys looking for those young quarterbacks with a ton of upside, and ones that can definitely run and get you those rushing touchdowns.
Well, speaking of young quarterbacks, I think we got one right here.
Yeah, we do.
Are you going to draft him? First round?
Not the first round. And I'm one of those guys that I never reach on quarterbacks, and I rarely ever take guys that play on the team that I root for, because I feel that if they do bad, I'm a jinx. But, with the season he had last year and just the hype around him, don't be surprised to see me reach on him a little earlier than I would normally.
That's a good point. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna be looking for Lamar Jackson or Mahomes this year. I think all the camera and the Hollywood and all that's on them. I'm going with Russell Wilson, and I'll tell you guys why. Because Russell Wilson is so motivated right now. He's got so many weapons there that are up and coming, and I can't wait for Russell Wilson to have an MVP season. He, in my opinion, is going to be the MVP of this league, and I'm telling you guys, for fantasy purposes, this isn't fantasy advice, but I would strategically warn you guys that Russell Wilson is going to rip up teams, and it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary in my opinion.
Right, for sure. And, I mean, he's probably the only guy who's been in the league for a long time where he's been extremely consistent from rookie season to now. And that kind of goes against the grain of, my point of all the young and up-and-coming quarterbacks.
Yep.
Because I believe, the top 10 fantasy quarterbacks this year are going to be quarterbacks under the age of 25. That's my bold prediction for the quarterback position this year in fantasy, is a lot of them, like, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield can even have a bounce back year. I think those guys are going to cement themselves in the top 10.
What do you think of Watson?
Him too, for sure. Sorry,
Yeah.
Texans fans. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about him. He's
don't worry.
He's incredible, and he's going to be in the conversation of, I would say, Mahomes territory in terms of money, for sure. Maybe not term, but he's going to make a lot of money.
What do you think of some of the veterans this season? So Philip Rivers got to change to the Colts now, new scenery. Aaron Rodgers getting up there in age. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees, what do you think of some of those guys, some of the older players?
Normally, I'm all for drafting a guy who's just changed teams, so like a Philip Rivers or a Tom Brady. But right now, I'm buying into all the young quarterbacks with upside because they can move around, unlike a Philip Rivers, a Tom Brady, a Ben Roethlisberger. They're more agile and they can extend plays, and I believe all those young quarterbacks are going to get you some key rushing yards and some key rushing touchdowns. So I plan to avoid all veteran quarterbacks.
Couple Brady 1-yard sneaks. You know how many times I've seen that?
Yep.
I can't even tell you, people. I mean that's an interesting team. Tampa Bay. I gotta tell you, they have great offensive weapons right now with Godwin and Evans, and I'm really excited to see that. But I think the biggest thing is I know with Brady, he's always had that offensive line.
Right.
So if Tampa Bay cannot protect this guy against the Cameron Jordans of the world, the Carolina deadly pass rush. Atlanta's got some great linebackers as well that are probably going to blitz Brady.
Right.
There's a lot of speed in that division.
For sure,
so
absolutely.
He's going into, foreign territory, really. And even the Saints, the Saints, it should be interesting because I don't think he's programmed to get out of that Patriot system yet. I hope to be proven wrong. We'll see. But I just can't see it. I can't see it. What do you think? Do you think Brady's going to have a good season this year?
Honestly, it's going to be extremely tough to predict because of, the COVID pandemic and what it's been doing. They canceled the preseason. So there's potentially 4 opportunities to start developing some chemistry in actual game situations.
Right.
Because, you can only simulate a game in practice
so much.
So many times. And, I feel that's going to be a big thing in fantasy and in actual real-life football, because some of these teams that got new quarterbacks via free agency or the draft are going to have to develop some chemistry rather quickly because they go right into week 1. So Tom Brady's first game as a Buck is going to be an actual regular season game.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's first game as a Bengal is going to be an actual regular season game. It's not going to be any preseason. There's not going to be any time to, correct your mistakes and get ready for week 1 because you're already jumping into week 1. So,
And it's the same with my Dolphins, I don't know if Tua's going to be starting, but, I'm so excited for that guy's debut, man. And I just hope, literally hope, Miami, please protect this kid. I don't want to see, 50 sacks in the backfield every game because our offensive line has been atrocious for God knows how long. Please protect Tua. That's all I ask. Especially, not even fantasy purposes, just protect that guy. He's had some injuries. I want him to build some confidence in Miami, and it'll be an unbelievable story. Miami needs this success to happen.
Absolutely.
Especially with the weapons around him. He's got Devontae Parker, who I absolutely love. Especially one-on-one. That guy in the air is incredible.
Gesicki, too.
Mike Gesicki, out of nowhere, he just came and just unbelievable, making crazy grabs left, right, and center down the middle of the field.
He really came on last year.
I love that guy.
He really came on last year.
I love that there. I'm so excited for my Dolphins. Hopefully it turns out good.
Yep, for sure.
No, Nick, I got to tell you, it's been a great start for the podcast. And guys, stay tuned for more episodes. We got to tell you, the Pocket Dial is going to be coming, episode 3. So make sure if you want to tune into the Pocket Dial, you want to call in, you want to, you have what it takes to step into the pocket with us and answer all the hard questions. And you can even ask us your questions. So make sure to check us out, DM us in the DMs at Pocket Presence Pod on Instagram. and on YouTube at the Pocket Presence Pod. Check us out, guys. You're gonna not want to miss it. And before we leave, we want to thank our sponsors again, Fresh House. Check them out, guys. 2 locations for the best juices. Talk to Mike. He knows what's up. He's the best. Keelan Major Mac, Pine Valley and Highway 7. They're unbelievable, guys. And of course, for all your home needs, PILBROIII, the 3 PILBROIIs. They're the best. Shout out to the PILBROIII family. They're unbelievable. And Nick, I gotta tell you, it's been a pleasure.
Yep.
Stay tuned for more Fantasy Outlook, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.